Okay, so welcome to your time creation strategy session. Our goal is to find you 5 hours this week, or we're kind of in the middle of the week, so maybe it'll be some this week, some next week, but 5 hours for yourself to take care of yourself. It is not extra time for you to do more laundry. It is not extra time for you to drive kids around or do more work, answer more emails. It is time for you to do what you need to do. So I sent the workbook. Hopefully you received it. I'm going to be going through parts of it. I don't expect you to fill it all out today. I want that to be kind of something you do later today with some of your free time that we're going to find. But it's a good way to just kind of step back and take a look at what's going on, because oftentimes we get so wrapped up in our life that we can't see the forest for the trees, so to speak. And we get going, and we're like, oh, I have no time. I have no time. And here's a good example. My son, he's 16. He is the king of procrastinating. And he knows, because he's very, very smart, that he can cram and get everything done last minute. He also will devise a way to get out of doing things, but he spends so much more time and energy devising the way to get out of it that he could have just done it in the first place. And I'm not saying that's what you do, but I'm saying as adults, we do the same thing, but we do it in a different way. We're like, I'm busy. And we get spun up on being busy. And then we've wasted 10 minutes stressing about being busy when we could have been using it to be unbusy. So I know you hear me, Crystal. That's awesome. So yeah, so let me get the workbook and share it with you. Pull up on my screen and we will get started with that. So the first thing you're going to do is you are going to look at your calendar. You are going to look at where you spend your time. Now, we all have a lot of hats we wear. So I know you guys are like me. We do a lot of things. We're not just one thing. We work, we have family stuff, we have church stuff, we have volunteer stuff, maybe a side hustle, maybe multiple side hustles. I don't know if you call mine side hustles or main hustles or middle hustles, because I have a lot of jobs that are overlapping one another. And to me, they're all almost equally weighted. This one is always the highest, but the other ones are also important to me too. And I want you to write down where you're doing that job, right? So your business or whatever, and then what you do. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to say, I'm a mom, right? I want you to write down what you do. Do you do laundry? Do you do cleaning? Do you do so I'm a Girl Scout leader, right? So I run the weekly meetings or bi-weekly meetings. I have to send out emails and reminders to the girls. I just barely relinquished my job as cookie mom, which is the best decision I've made. So I have a lot of jobs within that job. Okay. So I want you to list those, and you're going to probably be surprised at all that you do for these different things. Maybe you take care of an extended family member. I had one client who took care of her grandma. She had to drive her to get her hair done. She had to drive her to her doctor's appointment and stuff like that. So maybe you have something like that you do. But take the time to really think it out. And if it doesn't all fit on this paper, cool, get another paper and do it. But I want you to really be detailed in all the things that you do within that duty. Then you're going to go through that list. And you're going to be honest with yourself. And you're going to decide how it makes you feel to do those things. Because we all say our family is our most important thing. At least most people do. No shade if you don't say that, but a lot of people do. And oftentimes our behavior does not reflect that. We spend all of our time doing for church or doing for job or doing for extended family members, when our nucleus, our main family, is what we're talking about when we say family is most important, but yet they're getting the least amount of the time. So that's what you're going to do. I want you to look at each duty and I want you to ask yourself, how do I feel about this? When I think about going and being Girl Scout mom, do I feel drained or do I love it? Do I dread going or do I look forward to going? Do I keep pushing it down to the bottom of the list because I just don't want to do it? So I just keep waiting. Or do I get excited and it's the first thing I want to do when I wake up in the morning? Do you wish you could pay someone else to do it? I know I'm that way with most things around the house. I would rather pay someone else to do it. Or is it something that you naturally gravitate to? Do you tend to be in that same position everywhere? Because I'm a bossy control freak, tend to be the leader of everything. Girl Scout leader, um, leader of volunteer groups, leader of this, leader of that. I'm lead trainer at the ski resort where I work. I just kind of tend to gravitate to the top because I'm a bossy control freak. So maybe that's you. I'm not, like I said, no judgment, no shade, but we are all the same. Yeah, Crystal, for sure. Way rather pay someone to run your house. Exactly. So these are the things that we are going to look at. I want you to rank them 1 to 5 on how they make you feel. 5 to 10 on 1 is the least important. Okay. So if it you really hate it, it's a 1. If you really love it, it's a 10. Okay. Rank all of those, the ones that you already listed above. Okay. Then you're going to rank them in the order of the most time that you give to them. So look at those. You're going to look at your calendar. For example, let me show you my calendar. I color code my calendar. I'll do a different month so it's a little easier to see. I color code my calendar so that I know what's happening. Every color means something. The dark green is networking stuff. The teal is my daughter's ski racing stuff. The oranges are my business stuff. So when I look at my calendar at a glance, I can see if I have too much of anything. If I don't want to be spending a million hours networking, I better not see a whole bunch of dark green on there. If I see a lot of teal or blue, this light blue is like my family stuff, then I know, wow, I have a lot of family stuff this week. So I probably should not expect to have a lot of business productivity because I'm driving kids around or I'm attending competitions or whatever. I'm being a mom, and being a mom tends to take me away from being able to be business person. So you're going to eventually do this, but this is just a suggestion to go through your calendar and think, okay, what am I? And hopefully I'm showing that. If you can't see that, tell me. But, oops, wrong one. So I want you to go through your calendar and I want you to figure out where you're spending your most time and rank them in order. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I spend the most time at work. Number 1, most time. Number 2, second most time. And then the last. Okay, cool. Thanks. I'm glad you're seeing it. Thanks for letting me know. Okay. So after that, then you're going to reorganize your priorities. You're going to compare your 2 lists. You're going to go, okay, this is one I love the most, but I'm spending the least amount of time doing it. This is one I hate the most, and I'm doing the most. Okay, because that is where we get burned out. That's where we get stressed out. That's where we get drained. That's where we start to physically get unhealthy because our brain doesn't like it when we are not in a place of harmony. When we are not in alignment with what we want to be doing or should be doing, our body feels it. So you're going to compare those 2 and you're going to assess them. And then we're going to make a plan to how to reconcile that, to make them match so that they're more similar. Now, obviously, what makes me happy is like backpacking and skiing and playing in the mountains with my family. I do also need to make a living and my kids have to go to school, right? So it's not going to be exactly the same because sometimes just obligation trumps fun. We are adults, #adulting. It's not the most fun part, but we're going to try and get them synced up as best we can. You're going to go through and you're going to cancel things, opt out of things, say no to things. I've recently done this in my life. I have been teaching group fitness for 12 years. I used to love it. Notice I said used to. In the last few months, it has become closer to a 1 than a 10 on that scale of things that I love. Not for any one reason. And I think it's some part of it is just a changing of seasons. We all have seasons in our lives. But all of a sudden, the last few months, I'm like, I dread getting ready for it. And I teach a pre-choreographed format. So I have to listen to the music and I have to memorize it and all that. So it takes time to prep. I'm a perfectionist, so I don't want to go into a class and not do a good job. So I put it off. I push it to the bottom of the list. I dread doing it. I do it last minute. then I teach a class and I suck and I beat myself up for 24 hours over it. Not a healthy cycle. So last week I was sitting on my deck on a Sunday night. It was beautiful afternoon. My husband was barbecuing, and I was thinking, oh, I really should prepare for my class tomorrow, but I really don't want to. And I thought, why am I doing this? Why do I keep doing this? I think it's time. I think it's time to be done. And I said to my husband, I told him what was going on, and he's like, hey, if you don't love it, don't do it anymore. And it was almost like I needed someone to give me permission, not him, because he doesn't really care one way or the other. He's my cheerleader, no matter what I want to do. Every crazy idea, he's like, okay, go nuts, do your thing. But he also does not like to see me running myself into the ground. And it actually, quite frankly, pisses him off when I do. So he can feel it. He's an empath. He knows when I'm not happy, and he knows when things aren't serving me anymore. And he was like, you know what? If it's not for you anymore, then it's not for you. It's fine. But I had the guilt because I feel like I have people counting on me. I feel like I have people who are, you know, they're my friends. We've been working out together for years, some of us like 10 years or more. So I feel like an obligation to be there for them. But also I was thinking, I'm giving and giving and giving lots of energy, and I am not receiving anything back. And I used to get lots of energy from the crowd. I used to get lots of energy from obviously from doing it. I still love physically doing it, but it's just kind of come to an end. And so I made the decision. I told my boss, you know what? I think I'm done. And of course, as fate would have it, the next day when I was teaching, every single person who I have not seen in 6 months or more showed up in my class. It was like the universe and the energy of the world, just they could feel it that I was done. And so they were like, oh, we should go. But it didn't. And for half a second, I almost changed my mind because it was really fun to have all those people back. But halfway through the class, I thought, no, I'm still giving. I'm not receiving. So it may be hard. It may take some thinking. It may take a couple weeks even for you to say, okay, this thing is no longer serving me. So I need to step back from it. I did the same thing with the Girl Scout cookie mom thing. I love being the Girl Scout cookie mom, mostly because I'm a control freak and because I want it done right, but also because my girl was the highest selling cookie seller. And I felt obligated to do it because I don't want to put that on somebody else's mom. And also because I felt a sense of pride in helping, right? But I've done it for 6 years, and I feel like I can pass the torch to another mom who can do a good job. And my daughter has other priorities also. So I think it's time for both of us to step back. We will feel guilt because that is just the way of the world, but you don't have to. And you can work through it. And the best thing you can do is to, if you have to, write out a list of pros and cons. I mean, that was something my parents taught me to do when I was really little. We did it with our kids when they ever wanted to quit a sport or something like that. That's how you make the decision, right? And then it becomes pretty black and white. So if you are struggling with something and you're like, ooh, should I? Write it out, journal it out, make a list. Next time you're doing it, tune into your feelings. Right before you're about to do it, are you feeling dread or are you feeling excitement? Because it's the things that we dread that drain us, and we keep doing them, and it pushes out the things that we love. I don't know if you've ever heard the expression, when you say no to something or yes to something, you're saying no to something else, or vice versa. So if you're saying yes to this thing that you dread, you are saying no to yourself. You're saying no to reading that book you want to read, or to going for the walk that you want to go for, or taking the bubble bath that you've been waiting for. So look at the 2 lists, compare them, and reorganize your priorities. Renumber them how you want them to be, how they are in most alignment with you. Then I want you to go back through your calendar and your lists and go, what isn't in there? What did you not get to do? Like I said, is it reading a book? I had a client who all she wanted to do was take a bubble bath. I kind of thought that was absurd. I was like, why is this such a big deal to you that you just want to take a bath? Why don't you just go take a bath? She felt that she could not take a bath because she had to do so many other things. And I finally had to point out to her that she was an adult with a bathtub and running water, that all she needed to do was go turn it on and get in. Sometimes you need someone to just give you permission. So I'm giving you permission, whatever it is. I had a friend in a networking group tell me, she was like, my Facebook group wasn't serving me, so I shut it down. And she's like, I'm going to give you permission to do that as well. And I don't know why I felt like I needed that permission, because everyone says you're supposed to have a Facebook group, but I hated my Facebook group. It wasn't serving me. So I shut it down that day. Best feeling ever. So I'm giving you permission. Take the bath, take the walk, read the book, spend 15 minutes in silence with no one bothering you. Enjoy your coffee in the morning with no one bothering you. Whatever it is you want to do, go do it. So figure out what's not on the schedule. And then I want you to go through and figure out what you listed on your list as a priority that you didn't get to finish or didn't accomplish. Maybe it was, like I said, reading, it just keeps coming to mind today, but maybe it's exercising. You want to exercise every day, which PS you should, but that's another conversation for another day. You should do something every day. But if you are wanting to do that and it's not happening, write it down in that second box, and we're going to figure out where to put that. And then I want you to look at your days. So maybe this week was just a crazy week and you didn't get to that thing because it was a crazy week. Or is it you never get to that thing, or you get to that thing rarely and it happens frequently? If it's multiple days, that's something to look at. If it's a one-off, it was a weird week. And now if you have multiple weird weeks, then we have a problem. If it was multiple days, let's figure out why. If there's a common theme, is it that you were going to work out every day, right? You said you wanted to, and then you get answering emails, and then you get on the phone, and then pretty soon you have meetings, and you're halfway through the day and you haven't done it. And by then you just have lost the motivation because you have to do it in the morning. That common theme is you didn't prioritize it early enough in the day. Did you plan for it? Did you have enough time? Were you realistic with your time? I have news for you. You have 24 hours. You only have 24 hours. We're going to create more time for you, but we can't add to the clock. I wish we could, but we cannot. So that 24 hours, you have to spend wisely. Money, time, and calories. You have to budget them. Okay. Maybe that's what I should do my next live on, but you have to budget them. You only have so many. And if you don't plan out where it's going, it'll be gone. I'm writing that down right now because that is going to be my next. Wait one, please. Money, time, calories, budget. Okay. Anyway, I love it when you have great ideas. Distractions. Did you get distracted? Did you intend to do some meditation and journaling and then you got sucked into your phone? That happens. It happens a lot. So look at your week. Where did the thing that you wanted to do not happen, or things plural? And what was the theme? Why did it not happen? I would imagine it's a lack of planning. That's generally what it is, but it could be distractions. Or it could just be you think you're Wonder Woman, which you probably are real close. I mean, we're cousins of Wonder Woman. We are, all of us, but we are indeed still human. So maybe our expectations are a little too high for ourselves. After you've done all that, now it's time to figure out what you want to do. Okay. So back up here. What did you not get to do? Okay. What did you not get to do? Did you not get to plan out your meals? Did you not get to buy groceries? Did you not get to meditate, journal, exercise? What didn't happen? Did you not get to hang out with your kids? Maybe you like to play games with your kids. Whatever it is, write it all down. Okay, all the things. Just brainstorm it. What are all the things that you want to do? And then we're going to use our free time. Now, most of us don't work a 9-to-5 job. So everybody says weekend. So when I say weekend, just understand, I mean the time that you're not working, which there should be at least 2 days every week. They don't have to be side by side. They can be spread out. That's how my life is. That's fine. But you need 2 days off so that you can do the fun things. Then we're going to put it on there. We're going to figure out, is it going to be on Sunday? Is it going to be on a Tuesday? What is your day off? For me, I have Thursdays, which are off for me to spend with my husband. That's his only day off during the week. And then Sundays are our family day. So I know that those are my 2 days when I don't schedule any meetings. I don't schedule any calls. I don't do emails unless they're urgent. And that's when I do this other stuff. Things like, listen, use technology. I've been doing online grocery pickup since well before COVID. It first came out, I want to say in like 2019-ish, maybe even before that. And I jumped on it immediately because I saw the value. If I can sit at my desk and order my groceries where I'm home, and I can check the fridge and make sure I know what I need and what I don't need. I can check the pantry and make sure I'm not buying 3 extra bottles of ketchup when I already have 3 in there. I can go through my recipes at my leisure, have them in front of me, know exactly what ingredients I need. Makes life really easy. I made a really long video early on. I guess that's probably how I could know when I started doing online grocery shopping, because I was early to doing video. So it's very rough. So, but I did a big long video series on how I do my meal planning. So you can go back into the archives of my social media and find that. But I go through my recipe planners, my apps that I use for recipes. I go through my cookbooks, and I order all my groceries on Sunday and I pick them up on Monday, or sometimes I order them Saturday, pick them up Sunday, whatever works for you. I had a client that would leave town. They had a weekend home. So they would leave town every weekend and come back on a Sunday night. And she would always panic on Monday because there was no food in the house and, whatever. So I said, hey, you have cell service at your beach house. Order your groceries, pick them up on the way back into town. Then you have milk and bread and all that stuff for Monday, and you're already ready to go. I know a lot of people are particular about their produce and whatever. One, I would say, don't be so picky, get over it. Number 2, if it's really a deal breaker for you, order everything else, because they can't screw up like a box of crackers. Okay. They can't screw up chicken breasts. They're all the same. And then run in and grab your produce, and then you've still saved time. And PS, you're going to save money because you're not going to grab all the random shit that's on the edges that's for sale, and the 10 for 5 and the whatever that were, oh, that's a great deal. And you throw that in your cart, right? You don't do all that. So you don't, and usually none of that's good for you. They don't generally put like organic chicken on the end cap on sale. Not usually a 10 for 10 kind of thing. It's usually a Gatorade or something like that. And then this is the best part. Make a list of fun things you want to do with your family or with your friends, or with yourself. I should change that, because it should be fun time with whomever you want. But we tend to build our social world around food and around dining. And listen, I'm a foodie. I love going to a nice restaurant, but try to find ways to spend time together that doesn't involve that. Try, we always have a special occasion. Hey, let's go out and celebrate your birthday. So we go out to dinner, right? Go out for drinks. You go out for coffee. You go out for whatever. Go out for a hike. Go out for paddleboard. Go out for a walk. Go out and just feed the ducks by the pond. Whatever you can do, but do it outside. There's so many benefits to being outside. Vitamin D from the sunlight, reset your circadian rhythm, fresh air, grounding. There's so many things. You need to actually touch dirt once in a while. It's really good for your microbiome and your body to get dirty. So get dirty, go out and play. Plus that, it's good for your family. It's good bonding time. It's away from screens. You can have conversations. In fact, I'm taking my son hiking on Friday because we need to have a deep conversation. He doesn't know that yet. We're going for fun, but we're going to have a deep conversation because I know he's away from people that will be embarrassed by his mom, and he can't be on a screen or wanting to talk to his friends because we're in the middle of the mountains. So it's a great opportunity to connect with yourself, to connect with nature, connect with your family. Put it on your calendar. Make your list. Pick one activity every week. Hey, every Sunday, we're going to do something outside. We're going to go for a walk. We're going to go for a hike. It doesn't have to be hours. It can be 30 minutes, but do something fun outside. Okay. So that is your homework. Okay. And now I just want you to do some thinking. When I ask you what your biggest fear is around all this, what pops into your mind? I know I've had people tell me the fear that I won't have enough time to do everything, fear that I won't get everything done, fear that I'll hurt people's feelings when I back out of these activities or these commitments. So I really want you to sit with that and feel it. I know feeling feelings is new to me as well. I had a coach that taught me how to feel feelings because I was really good at pushing them down. But I want you to feel it. Think about it. What's your biggest fear? What's your biggest stress? What gives you like heart palpitations? Is it someone else picking out your produce? I hope not, because that's silly. But if it is, okay, we can work through it. Let them pick out one thing at a time. Give them specific descriptions in the order form, something. Understand that your time is money and they get paid whatever they do an hour, which is way less than your time. So just let them pick out your damn bananas and call it a day. And then think about, what was the first thing on your mind when you woke up this morning? Probably not a super productive, positive thought, if I had to guess. If it was, high five. That's amazing. I want it to be a super productive, positive thought. I want it to be something like, oh, I rested a lot, or I feel good this morning, or can't wait to enjoy my coffee on the deck. Can't wait to just be in silence. That's my first thought in the morning. Right after, oh, it's early, because I'll never be a morning person. Even though I get up early, I will never be a morning person. But I get up early because it does so much good for me. And then contemplate how all that is affecting your ability to follow your own plan, because it is. And then you get to go through and figure out how you're going to do this next week. So yesterday we had someone in our session that she decided that her kids, having to wake them up in the morning, she has multiple kids, was costing her at minimum 15 minutes a day, at minimum, because she had to keep going in. It wasn't a full chunk of 15. It was 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? That, like that, in and out, trying to get them up, trying to get them moving. Now get some breakfast, time when she couldn't think about herself. So I want you to think about that. Where's some wasted time for you? Where's something that you're doing that's not serving you, has nothing to do with your goals? You hate doing it, and it's a time suck. Maybe it's 5 minutes. Don't forget about the 5-minute pockets. Do you need to start getting up earlier? I just told you I'm not a morning person, but I get up an hour and a half before I have to leave the house because I want my time. I want time to meditate. I want time to just wake up. I want time to enjoy listening to the birds on my deck. I want time to look at my calendar and figure out what the day has in store for me. I want time to think creatively about whatever I need to do for my business or my family or whatever. So I get up early when I don't love it, but I love it now because of what it does for me. And again, we talked about, what do you need to eliminate to make this happen? Here are some time pockets to consider. Waiting in the carpool line if you have kids that you're driving to and from school. That carpool line is the biggest time suck ever. Waiting in the doctor's office or before appointments if you're just killing 5-10 minutes. Again, kids activities, that's just what's on my mind because that's my life. But if you don't have kids, I'm sure there is something similar in your life where, so my kids have different sports, and I'll take my laptop to the park and I will work while they're at practice, or I will work in the parking lot while they're at practice, in the car if it's cold or whatever. Please don't sit and idle your car. Not good for any of us. That's a whole nother soapbox for another day also, but bring a blanket. I have a great camping blanket that packs up this small. I'll give you the link. I'm not affiliated with it, but it's amazing. And it gets cold here in Utah in the wintertime, and I can survive. So can you. But take your laptop, even if you don't have a laptop, you can do grocery orders. You can catch up on emails. You can return phone calls. You can make meal planning lists, grocery lists, all kinds of lists, all with your phone, sitting in your car, waiting for whatever, or sitting in a waiting room. Listen to audiobooks or podcasts as you drive. That is a great time to be feeding your mind when you can't do anything else. I know a lot of times it's hard for us to sit down with a physical book. If you are a person that loves to sit with a physical book, perfect. Put that on your list to do on your day off. Do that to refill your cup. Pick an hour every Sunday or every Tuesday and refill your cup. There are so many pockets of time. So, like I said, yesterday, we talked about her waking up her kids every 15 minutes every day. That's almost 2 hours in a week. That's almost 2 hours. And she said, I just want to have that time for me. I don't want to have to stop what I'm doing every 2 minutes and go make sure they're up. So it's absolutely possible to do it. And I recommend doing it. Boundaries have to be drawn though, and people are going to get mad. I stopped waking my kids up. I told them, hey, if you aren't up, this train is leaving the station and you're missing it, then you better find your way to school. And if you miss school, you're going to have to deal with those consequences also. You know, if you have a client that is constantly late or constantly no-showing you, it's time to draw a boundary. It's time to say, hey, look, either you cancel on time, you show up on time, or I'm going to charge you, or I'm not going to let you on my calendar anymore. I have the same thing with networking meetings, one-to-one connection meetings. If somebody no-shows me once, I'll give them an opportunity to reschedule. They do it twice, they're never scheduling on my calendar again. If people are more than 10 minutes late to a meeting, I cancel the meeting and tell them to reschedule. If you have that happen, have a list. Well, not if you have that happen, because it will happen. Have a list for when that happens that you can jump right on your next task instead of feeling like you wasted an hour. If you had someone book on your calendar for an hour and they no-show you, oftentimes we think, oh, that's a wasted hour. I lost that. I could have done whatever. I could have had someone else. No, think of it as a free extra hour, because now no one else is on your calendar. No one else is bugging you because they think you're in a meeting. Use that time to be in a meeting with yourself and get things done. Look at, I have a list in my phone of things that aren't urgent, but need to be done. We're going on a trip in the spring. We all need passports. I need to fill out the applications, right? So that's on my list. Anytime I have downtime, a good chunk, because we all know that takes forever, I have that on my list to do. And even if I only do one person's passport each time, I will eventually get them all done. Like I said, clearing out your inbox. If you have someone cancel on you and you have a free hour, spend that time going through your inbox. Delete emails you don't need. Move them to different folders. Organize it. Respond. Handle it and move on so that your inbox is not exploding and looking like a big clutter box. So that's just some suggestions. Hopefully that's helping. Hopefully this has been beneficial for you. It's just a taste of what we do in Revive in my coaching program. This is kind of this foundation. This is kind of like the first step. Obviously, I can give you a workout and I can give you a meal plan and I can tell you to meditate, but if you don't have the time to actually do it, it's not going to happen. So this is a big part of it. And you're already one step in. The rest of the way you learn, just like this, how to figure out your body, how to figure out what you need to eat, how you figure out what you need to move and how to move. And whether it's meditating or journaling or prayer or yoga or whatever, what is it that you need to do for your mindset every day? And how can you reduce your stress? Taking all of this out, I'm telling you, is a big step in reducing your stress. Taking out the stress over what should I eat and when should I eat it? That's another big chunk. Taking away, we learn how to handle social situations. You learn how to handle going to parties and going to barbecues and holidays and all these things where you don't get off the rails. So all of that is part of Revive. And then we do it all in 90 days. It is like wham, bam, we're done, we're moving on. So you have to be ready to hit the ground running. There is no dragging of feet in this program. But that being said, it's not overwhelming. It's not a huge amount of work. It's meant to help you gradually make sustainable changes. We do one thing at a time, not everything all at once, because you do it all at once and you're going to fail. We do it gradually, one step at a time. I'm right there coaching you every week on a coaching call as a group. And then if you need the extra one-on-one calls, we can do those too. So the group coaching program, like I said, it's 90 days. It is $9.99 a month for those 3 months. If you want the extra one-on-one coaching calls, you get one each month. It's $12.97 to include that extra call. And if you need more than one call, we can do that too. So that's all part of it. I also help you figure out what supplements you need. You do need them. Unfortunately, our food these days is not what it needs to be. So today is actually our 1-year anniversary for our protein supplement line and our collagen. I just rolled out vitamins. You don't have to buy mine, but at least give you an idea of what you should get. Cookbooks, all those kind of things, recipes, it's all in there. So the learning modules have all of that. Like I said, they're quick. They're like 5, maybe 7-minute videos, because I know you don't have time. I don't have time to mess around with that kind of stuff. Every course that I've ever done that has big, long videos, I never watch them. So I know you're not going to either. So I didn't bother even recording them. They're quick. They're quick, but it's meant to keep you moving. I know you probably don't need accountability. If you're anything like me, you know how to hold yourself accountable. What you need to do is have the blueprint. You need the map. You need to know where to go, what to do, how to do it, get me there. And that's what I help you do. So I would love to have you join us. We've got another cohort starting soon. So I'm going to drop the link in the chat for the program. I'm going to show you the page also. Actually, let me do this. It is right here. So this is the page. I'm going to drop this link. If you are just ready, you want to do it, click that button and we will get on a personal strategy session call and make sure that this is the right program for you, give you some more things you can work on to keep you moving off of this. If you still aren't quite sure, there's some more descriptions here of kind of what it's all about. You're welcome to read it at your own leisure. And then if you book, this is before September 12th. Now it's before November 12th. I'm going to give you 2 extra bonus one-on-one calls and this stress management beyond the basics workshop that I did. And that's free. So I'm going to include that for you guys. So, but you have to get signed up soon. So let's get those calls booked this week so that we can get you moving into this next cohort and save you more than just time. Get rid of some fat, get rid of a lot of stress, and get you some energy and all of that goodness. So questions, any questions? No? Okay, cool. Then what I'm going to do is drop this link into the chat right now. Give me just a second. And then, oh shoot, I made changes and didn't save them. Oh, well, I will go back and rechange them. That's what we do, right? Like I said, if you want those extra calls, which a lot of people do, jump on it because it basically makes this a hybrid between a group coaching and a one-to-one coaching. So you get a little bit of the best of both worlds. And with the group part, you're in a cohort with women who are just like you. So we're bouncing ideas off of each other, empathizing, supporting, cheering. You're not on an island by yourself. You are dealing with the same thing that all of the rest of us deal with, just maybe at a different pace, different time, a little bit different circumstances, but it's all pretty much the same. And you don't deserve to feel like crap. You deserve to feel like the badass you are. So I would love to have you join me. So hopefully I will see you on my calendar soon. Feel free to message me, email me, call me. You know where to find me. And let's get you feeling better. Thanks so much for joining me today. Have a good afternoon.